Well, the new technical regulations involve aerodynamics, KERS and slick tyres. So in simple terms, for the aerodynamics, the front wing is wider and lower, the rear wing is narrower and taller, the diffuser has been extended 350 millimeters further rearward, and a lot of the devices such as flip-ups and darts and barge boards and things on the car have been radically reduced through the use of exclusion zones on the bodywork, so you are not allowed to put bodywork in certain areas, and also the engine cover has been simplified so that it's a nice looking engine cover for the sponsors. But at the same time, the overall target with aerodynamics was to try and improve the overtaking capability of the cars by reducing the disturbing wake that comes out behind a Formula One car. It's also combined with the change to slick tyres, as I mentioned, and the slick tyres are a way of offsetting part of the aerodynamic loss, because it's a big loss of downforce, up to 50%, and increasing the tyre grip is some way of gaining some of that grip back in slow speed and hopefully try and improve overtaking. The other aerodynamic factor is the front wing. The front wing is now actively adjustable by the driver, so while he's driving on the track, he can increase and decrease the front flap once per lap, which enables him to get close to a car in front and follow them through a high-speed corner. And that's fundamentally the biggest problem with a faster car coming up behind a slower car, then get stuck behind it because of the aerodynamics. It stands for Kinetic Energy Recovery System, and it involves taking energy and power out of the drivetrain during braking, storing that in a medium such as a flywheel or a battery, and using that energy store to drive back into the powertrain on power to give you an advantage on the straight that will hopefully enable you to overtake. The main effect of the regulations is to reduce downforce, and when you reduce the downforce, you reduce the size of the wake behind the car. The wake is the basically, in simple terms, the dirty air that comes out the back of a Formula One car, just like you get disturbed air at the back of a jet. You know, that's what you see in the air with contrails. It's where you can see the air's been disturbed behind a jet, and jets try not to fly through the air behind another jet, because if they do, then they'll fall out of the sky because their wings start to stall. And that's exactly the same as with a Formula One car, obviously much lower speeds than a jet, but it's to try and reduce the effect of that wake so that you can more easily follow the car in front. Well, the testing over the winter's gone well so far. The car's shown to be reliable. We've had a good run reliability-wise and got plenty of laps on the whole package. The car as itself, in terms of performance, it looks respectable. But it's until we get in Melbourne and into the first 3 or 4 races, we won't really know where our performance lies relative to the other teams, because it will change as well rapidly during the season as people bring along new suspension concepts or different weight distributions on the car. In Formula One, even though there's testing regulation changes, it's the same for everybody, and Formula One's all relative. It's a Formula One car by itself is a very quick car to the average person on the street, but it doesn't matter how fast it is. It only matters if it's 1 or 2 tenths faster or slower than another Formula One car. And testing is exactly the same. It's all relative. So if you get big changes in regulations that affect the car and the setup that's required, or even things such as the testing restrictions that are happening during the season, it's the same for all teams, and how you respond as an F1 team is part of your strength. I think this year, with such big regulation changes, it's our best opportunity to get back to the front, which is where our target is to be, a front-running team. And the pressure to succeed in Formula One and do well, it's there continuously. Doesn't matter what sort of season you've had, you've always, even whether you've won the championship, the pressures are just different. Williams has been in a position where we've been winning Grand Prix before, and the pressure that you achieve, that you feel when you turn up to a race it's still pressure, and once again it's all about expectation and where you were relative to where you were before. I think a lot of our underperformance last year was because of the fact that we stopped developing the car quite early in the season. And although you get fluctuations in performance even when you have a competitive car from track to track, a lot of other teams developed their cars right up until the last Grand Prix, and at Williams we didn't. We took a conscious decision that with such a big rule change coming for 2009, our best return was going to be from investing in those new regulations. This year we've got Kazuki and Nico driving the car. They're both not rookies anymore. They're both experienced, have shown that they can drive capably in our team beforehand. So we're looking to them to deliver the best that the car's got available to it. So if we've got a quick car, we expect them to be making the most of it. That's the target for them. The new parts in the car that the drivers have to get used with, predominantly at the moment, is managing the adjustable front wing, and the second thing is managing KERS. So it's quite a lot of workload on the driver now, but that was also part of the aim of some of the rule changes, is to put more in the hands of the driver, and so it's not all automatic. But there is advantage to be gained through a driver being intelligent with how he uses his controls. So both Nico and Kazuki have been getting used to that over the winter. They've been trying different things, modifying this, modifying that, so we can optimize all those settings before the first Grand Prix. But I'm sure there's plenty of room for confusion, but it'll be the same for everyone.